organizations face on using the digital core. Raheel?
Thank you, Chetan. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, everyone. Um, Definitely, my panelists, the colleagues, Arun and Pramdeep, has given a lot of insight in terms of how the markets are moving and how people are considering, especially the CIOs and the industry, on selecting the core banking systems and having a robustness around the core. Definitely, core is dead, but we long live the core. We are on the same thought process of core will survive. However, it has a due face of it. And we as Codebase Technologies, being a global open API banking solution provider, supporting both the traditional banking institutions, financial institution, as well as the fintech ecosystem, are helping them demystify the digital financial services. There are a lot of things out there in the market, and we help institutions demystify uh, by delivering and creating innovative and intuitive experiences across the life cycle. Um, our award-winning product, DigiBank, is a bank-in-a-box proposition, a comprehensive one-stop solution for traditional as well as neo-challenger banks. And we've been operating across the 3 continents, delivering services and solutions to our cloud-native customers around the world. Next slide, please. We've been supercharging digital banking, both in this region and outside the region as well. As everyone would have known, Zand Bank, GCC's first completely digital bank proposition with retail and corporate. We've built it and basically working with them to deliver both retail and corporate digital proposition, completely cloud-based, API-driven. And what we would like to showcase is our proposition has been built scratch from ground up, looking at the new technologies, looking at the modern tech stack, helping institutions adopt to the newer models, but without even rip and replacing. So we have been servicing our clients who are transitioning into the digital banking foray, helping them institutions launch new digital propositions, digital banks, digital brands as well. Zand is one of them, Capital Bank out of Jordan and Iraq. We're basically helping fill the financial inclusion gap for over 40 million unbanked citizens in these 2 countries, using our complete digital core with a full financial ecosystem built around the customer life cycle. We also did Bahrain's first digital bank, Jazeel, from Kuwait Finance House, a traditional bank going into a digital proposition and leveraging their existing platforms and launching them in less than 3.5 months. Dubai Islamic Bank. So large institutions have been trusting us with their digital banking and digital core services with the new modern API-based tech stack. And what we see today as overall within our clients is our proposition mode. We're not a technology vendor. We do not sell you the license and just leave. What we do is we help the organization launch a digital brand, work together with their business teams. And we basically tick off their KPIs overall. And we use technology as an enabler rather than just a driver. So business remains the main key context of how financial institutions want to attract, acquire, retain new customers, and we help them using technology to enable all of those visions of the banking industry. Next slide, please. So what are the key principles to go digital core? One thing is, yes, the core has to be digital and have to support, but why does a bank requires to go towards a digital core? As we all know, the 3 C's which you mentioned, it fits in very well. Customer first perspective. It's all around the customer, what the bank is dealing with. There are segmentations, and today it's beyond mobile banking. people mistakenly takes it as, okay, I've given a mobile approach or omni-channel approach, that's digital banking, but it is all beyond that. Hence a customer first perspective, and ensuring that we are able to deliver the digital promise, not just a facade or a thing that we've given an omni-channel solution, but the process at the back remains same, manually intensive and operationally intensive. It defeats the purpose. So customer first perspective goes hand in hand with the ability and delivering the promise, what we've done to our customers and to our internal stakeholders as well. The second point would be the frictionless API collaboration. So there are a lot of ways to collaborate, and there are APIs all available all across. You'll find APIs on the SaaS provider, you'll find APIs internally, but how do you make sure that those APIs are frictionless? How do you ensure that you give the flexibility to your consumer channels or to your external partners for them to deliver the experience and not bogged down by your restrictive APIs? So having APIs is one thing, but having the ability to utilize those APIs in creating multiple kind of experiences on the go, that is something which is truly frictionless and which is fostering collaboration. Standardization is one aspect of it, but giving the flexibility on how to use it, where to use it, and come up with your own experiences. So we focus primarily on those process-oriented foundational APIs, which can be used in multiplier effect to create as many experiences the banking institution or their ecosystem partner want. And lastly, how do we leverage the cloud? Cloud, as Arun also mentioned very clearly, that cloud is one of the deployment models, how we see it, but it could be even on-prem with the use of the likes of OpenShift or any other platforms. We have seen customers deploying our platform in a cloud-ready format in an on-prem Kubernetes cluster. So cloud technologies, cloud abilities, and cloud nativeness is something what is part of the key principles why we should be looking at a digital core on an onset. Next slide, please. So I would want to talk about one case study today, which we're currently doing, and it's a very interesting proposition. It revolves around a digital core, but to democratize it and be able to offer in a multi-tenant public environment. We've seen institutions looking at a managed services model for their own entities or for their internal use. But what we've done is we have partnered up with one of the largest fintech in Africa. And we're now targeting how can we look at the financial inclusion agenda and assist the micro financial institutions who cannot afford a typical core platform or an omni-channel platform for that matter. We are actually working to democratize that aspect and bring in a banking as a service model for Africa region, where we are able to deliver the promise of financial inclusion, whereby assisting micro institution who may have 5,000 customers, who may have 2,000 customers, or who may have 1 million customers, all at a same level of enterprise technology using our in-country model of SaaS proposition. And that has changed, and that will change the entire conversation on the African continent and beyond, that how are we trying to service the final customer, the end customer, because these customers are spread across and we are not able to reach to them through entities like tier 1 banks or tier 2 banks. And hence a huge gap existed. And we looked at it from a fintech perspective, and we invested in that model as Codebase along with our partner, and brought in a complete fully API driven experience of 470 banking process APIs, which can be catered to multiplier effect of any experience layer available on a fully cloud enabled scalability model using Kubernetes and a cloud native approach. So wherever you have a cloud service provider, and of course we are cloud agnostic, wherever you will find a cloud service provider, we can go on in any of those models, either, or we deploy it on an on-prem cloud environment set up especially for that region. So you look at how the customer needs to be serviced. What is the need of the customer? Not everyone would need a large wealth propositions or a PFM or something. You need to look at, in a digital environment, you need to look at your customer segment. You need to be able to deliver what that customer needs, not what we want to deliver to them. And that's the flexibility we bring in our core, where you are able to choose modular architectures, modular compositions, and APIs which can be driven as and when required. And what we've done is delivered with speed. So delivery of speed means we've been able to have an MVP in less than 3 months. And that's what puts us differentiating from other partners, is how we see the market of digital banking is the ability to deliver fast, to test the market, to test the hypothesis, because digital banking is not a very rigid industry. It is an ever-changing platform. It is an ever-changing landscape. And we should be able to change and pivot from one point to another based on the customer's actual feedback, actual data, and the actual requirement coming in. So the ability to go fast, test and validate, and be able to change on the go, that is something which is a game changer in the financial inclusion agenda. The budgets and getting the economies of scale is something which we are able to deliver to our clients and bring down that the cost of ownership without impacting the enterprise features. So imagine a financial institution, a micro institution, having 10,000 customers in a district, being able to use a fully cloud native technology, which a large tier 1 bank aims and visions to have one. They're able to do it, and they're able to access it on their fingertips for their customers. That's the kind of change and disruption we are bringing to the market. Next slide, please. So as a future outlook, what we see and what we're consulting and advising our clients across the 3 regions, be it Africa, be it MENA or Asia Pacific, go digital with a cloud native strategy, bring in the acquisition and the intuitiveness within your acquisition of customers, and set the right expectation. Collaborate, because collaboration is one key area where you can actually diverse your investments as a financial institution and leverage on your partner's ecosystem, partner's customer base, while you retaining the core of the platform or the core service, which is custodianship of funds. So you need to leverage technologies. You cannot keep investing on your own, and the best way is to collaborate and leverage on investments done by other startups or other institutions, and create and co-create, I must say. It is all about co-creation of tailored technology experiences for your customers. And engage your customers. Without engaging your customers, without having their feedback, without having their the information what you require, you cannot design and deliver digital banking propositions. You need to deliver what your customer wants, how they want it, at their convenience, not at our convenience. So hence, enhancing the overall proposition, be it transaction, be it payments, or be it even cards or any of those basic services, which unfortunately a lot of people do not have access to. This is how you basically start engaging with clients, start collaborating to drive down efficiency and economies of scale, and using the digital, the principles of going digital as the way forward in ensuring that whatever the institutions are doing, you're able to deliver on that promise that you are a truly a digital organization.